In this short video, I'm going to explain to you how to set up a Google Plus local page listing here on Google. And first of all, before I do that, I want to show you why it's important here. Give you some examples here. Google brings up these boxes here in the map view. It'll bring up here in a second. It's being slow for some reason, or these listings just don't have it. But a lot of times they'll have a map here, different listings. When their listings are local, then when I look up restaurant, if I'm set to whatever location I'm set to, or even where Google thinks I am. So if I just look up restaurant, it thinks I'm in Beaverton, and the reason it thinks I'm in Beaverton is because I have it set that way in my search tools. But it'll also automatically pick that up too if you don't have it set. So then it's going to show me all the local restaurants, because it knows even though you're just searching for restaurant, you're not interested in restaurants overall. You're only going to be interested in restaurants that are close to you. And there are a lot of businesses that are like that, where Google makes the assumption for you that you want a local business. And so that's where these local listings come in. So they're very, very important, especially people looking on smartphones. A lot of times the first place they're going to look is Google, and a lot of times and sometimes they don't even come back to your page, your website itself, and they're not looking at, they don't even know it, but they're not looking at the regular search results. If you look at Google, well, let's look up Portland, Oregon restaurant. You see here are the local listings. Here are the ads over here on the right and at the top. Here are the local listings, and then here are the rest of the listings. And the other thing that you'll notice about the rest of the listings is a lot of times they're dominated by directories. I expect that to change, but for now, you have TripAdvisor, Yelp, Zomato, which is what used to be Urban Spoon, PDX Eater, which I don't know what is, but they have a couple listings here, The Guardian, which is the local paper, and all of that. So, Willamette Weekly. So they have a lot of different directories or other middleman kind of sites. So, but the very top, when you're talking about a local business, is this local listing. So I wanted to get to that. Now, I am going to make an assumption that you know that you're logged into Google, or you know your login information, and you have a Google account. You'll know you're logged into Google because if you're in Google and your face or something here and it says a name, then you'll know you're logged into Google. If you're not, then you'll have the opportunity to log in, or you can watch the other video I'm going to create right after this one that is on how to create an account. It's really easy to do. Most of the time it's a Gmail account. If you have a Gmail account, you do have a Google account. Just log into your Gmail account and you're logged into your Google account. It gets a little confusing sometimes because you don't actually have to use a Gmail account as your Google account, but most people do. So I've picked at random out of the phone book of all places a business out of Florence, and that's Florence, Oregon. And the name of it was easy to remember, and so that's part of the reason why I stuck with it. It's Funky Monkey. I'm going to put in Florence, Oregon. Now, one note, too, that I want to make a point of is that you may have a map listing. A lot of times you will have a map listing, and that's real specific for what we're doing here. But it's an old map listing, and you don't have control of it. So that's what we're really trying to do, is get control of your map listing. I'll show both. I'll show when you don't have one at all, but also you want to get control of a listing that already exists. And you can see that there are already photos and things attached to this business. Now, in order to get control of it, I'm going to click over on Maps. So I have it in here. I have searched for it, and then I'm going to click on Maps. You'd also do it the other way around. You could go to Maps and then search for it. But really, all I'm trying to do is point you to this down here, which is in gray and so it's and small, but it says, "Are you the business owner?" Now, if you've verified your listing and everything, this won't be here, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But if this is here, it means your listing isn't verified. So you say, "Are you the business owner?" You click on that. It says, you can check the box that says, "I'm the authorized manager of this business." I'm gonna hit this, but don't get concerned because I know that there are extra steps past this, so I won't create any problems with Funky Monkey. They'll still be able to do the same process. I've tested it. If I went through the whole verification process, then I would own the listing. But that said, you have to verify it in one of two ways. That's the next thing that's going to come up. Either they're going to mail you a code or call you. And of course, especially if you're doing this for your own business, the very easiest thing to do is to have them call you. And even when I am doing this for clients, most of the time that's what I'll do, is I'll call the client at that number and I'll say, "Okay, I just want to make sure there's someone there. I'm going to have Google call you in a minute, and you write down the code and then you give that to me." The mail one, for whatever reason, people miss it in the mail. It's a postcard size letter, and it looks like bulk mail kind of, and I think people just forget about it and toss it out or whatever without thinking about it. So once you've verified it, then you can fill out your information. I'm not going to go through that process right here because we'll go through it in the video on well, I can't go through it because it's not verified. So I'll go into a listing that I do own, and then I can show you what it goes to after this. Like I said before, I don't want to verify it. I can't verify it really because I don't know these folks. So I'm going to switch over to my main account. What I'm going to do is just go to plus.google.com, go over to Google Plus, and they switched it over. They used to make this the Google Plus, and I don't know if they're moving away from Google Plus or why they've switched that, but it worked out better for me that way before, but I digress on that. And so these are my clients that I've set up pages for, and I'm just going to come down to one that is me because it doesn't do any harm to go around and play in there, but it might as well be my listing that we're looking at. So this is my listing, and if I want to edit the information, so this is actually the screen you come to when you after you verify your listing, and then it'll either be this screen or the screen that you get when you click on edit here. And I'm not getting into great details about this, but it's pretty straightforward. You have the business name, so I can do any of these. I can hit edit and change the address. The contact information is where the website is and the phone number, and you can add more phone numbers. And you can add the hours, introduction. And this is what even I've skimped on here, but you can make this pretty detailed, and it helps with the search engine optimization. But this is just the basic getting it started, getting it set up kind of video that I wanted to put together. Once you're done, then you just hit done editing, and you can also, from here, you can manage photos, and managing photos allows you to add photos of the this is another area that's really good to do. You can put in a logo, a profile picture, interior photos of your location, exterior photos, photo of work, team photos. The more photos to a degree, the better. add at least 3. It's telling you what it wants to see there. And then, well, actually on the manage photos, I kind of skipped over one in there. This is the cover. So when you look at if you look at the page, then you'll see the cover here, and it's not the fanciest cover, but it does match my branding for that. So that's the cover image. I won't go into the sizes and stuff for the cover image because it changes all the time. So I just want this to be a pretty straightforward video. And then so the last kind of way that you might enter into this is if you didn't have a listing at all. So I said, most people do have listings, and you can actually start this way regardless. But if you go to business.google.com, you'll come to this page. Assuming that you haven't done a page before, it'll be empty. It won't have any pages in here. But you can hit this Get Your Page button. It'll ask you what kind of a page you need. Almost all local businesses are going to either be a storefront or a service area. There's some benefit to having an actual storefront, and that's defined kind of by Google as a place. Well, there's 3 actually kind of categories in this. You have the regular storefront, like a restaurant or a mattress store or whatever, which is pretty straightforward. Then you have the service area, which is like a plumber or an electrician or whatever, which is only going to serve people at their location. And then there's a hybrid where you might have a business location, like an interior designer might have a location where they work out of, where they have a showroom or a window treatment place might have a showroom where they show people stuff, but then they also work in people's houses, and they give you that option when you do the service area. For this purpose, I'm going to say a storefront. By the way, even if you're working from home, you're an electrician and you don't serve anybody, they're going to want a physical address. That's part of what they do. I'm going to deliberately make up a business, not a business, Portland, Oregon. So they put in, and no matter what you type, then they're going to try and find something that matches. I'm going to hit, nope, none of these match. Now if something is in here and it matches, we just dug that same thing up that we did in the first step. And then from there you can fill in the information. You fill in the initial information about the business. And then at that point, it'll bring you to the verification screen. I'll pause and do it. Of course, at the bottom here, you need to put in a category. When you start searching, it'll start bringing up potential categories. And then you have to check the box that says, well, it says, I deliver goods and services to my customers at their location. So if you do that, then you need to check that box. I just put in, by the way, too, it needs to have a real address. If it doesn't have a real address, they're going to pick that up. I put in the address for City Hall just for this test, but I won't complete the listing, obviously. So I hit continue, and then because I checked that box, it says I serve people at their location. Then it's going to ask you for cities. Either you can put in zip codes, or you can do within a certain miles or kilometers from your location. Most people do miles. There is a little evidence that putting in the zip codes, the individual zip codes, will work better. Obviously, the miles is way easier. And then here's the checkbox that says I serve customers at my address. If you check that, they'll show your address in the listings. If you don't check it, they won't. But I should mention too that most listings need to have an address, so it's important to have an address that you are okay with publicizing, and it can't be a PO box. So anyhow, I'm just going to leave that unchecked and hit continue, and then it went through and it is we need to create the page. All right, so this is the same kind of thing that we got when I hit the need a business. So you hit continue to say that I'm an official person, and then it does the verification. So it's now we're back to the same setup. Now why it does a phone number sometimes. Usually it'll allow you to do a phone number if they already have it in the directory. I think that's the main thing. But if it's a brand new listing, completely new, then it wants to mail it. I'm going to hit continue and verify later because, like I said before, I don't want to verify it. This actually gives you a tour, which you can look through. But like I said, here's the same screen we were at. It doesn't have anything in it, so you can hit. You can add the intro here. It's just going to bring you to that page. Well, actually, I guess the intro it pops up a new window, but then you can edit all those things that I showed you in the first place. And then skip tour. You can change the profile picture by highlighting it. You can also go to manage photos to do it. So it's all the same kind of thing. There are a few more ways to get to the different things when you haven't filled it out. Add hours here, add website here. So they have just links, but all of those are under edit. If you hit edit, then you're able to get to all those same things. So there you go. That's the basics of how to get started with the Google Plus listing, and I hope it's been educational. Thanks.